It's the final call.
It's a new music video from Snoop Dogg, the rapper, shooting a fake toy gun at a clown dressed like President Trump. Let's bring in conservative radio host Gina Loudon and Democrat strategist Al Mater to join me now to react. Gina, it seems to be protected free speech. It's considered satire. But is it appropriate for celebrities to mimic the assassination of a sitting U.S. president, Gina?
I think it's wholly inappropriate, but I do believe it is a free speech right. I also believe, Elizabeth, that, we are really in an era where one party is treating people like adults and the other party is treating people like children. And I believe most of us here are adults, and we can look at this and go, I don't want any part of that. And I'll tell you something. I believe middle America is looking at that and saying, if people are going to act like this and condone one kind of behavior, one candidate over another, whatever, they're going to be making their decisions based on what looks like total lunacy to them coming out of Hollywood.
Al, what if it was President Obama instead of a clown looking like President Obama instead of a clown looking like President Trump in this video?
That's a great question, Liz. I'd actually make the same argument Gina just made, that while it may be offensive, it's protected speech. In this country, there's a fine line between freedom of expression and inciting violence. And while this may be offensive to some people, whether the victim's Trump, Obama, or anybody else, I don't believe it crosses that line. And if you listen to the whole song, it's actually about victims of police. And so I believe that some in that community think this president enables some of that victimization.
But it's an image of the president being shot at. I know it's a toy gun. And the irony here, Gina, is that Snoop Dogg was in an anti-gun he represented an anti-gun organization called No Guns Allowed, Gina, a couple of years ago, and was in a video, No Guns Allowed. He was anti-gun.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, because the left always takes the side of less freedom, and the right always takes the side of more freedom. I mean, we're the ones that advocate for free speech. Look, on the right, you can be pro-life, you can be pro-choice, you could be pro-traditional marriage, you could be you have so many options. On the left, you better think exactly like they think.
I don't remember the last time pro-choice was in the Republican platform.
No, it's true.
There are. I hear what you're saying, Al.
Nobody's saying
you're talking about the platform,
platform,
but there are pro-choice Republicans, Al. I hear what you're saying about the platform. Go ahead, Gina. Finish your thought.
Yeah, thank you. Because, wanting to limit our access to protection for somebody like myself, 5'2" female, that is eliminating my own protections. That's taking away a freedom. So it doesn't surprise me at all that somebody on the left who doesn't understand our Constitution and doesn't understand freedom would want to limit it. But he better be ready, because if you're going to limit that, your free speech might be limited as well.
Yeah, Al, go ahead, Al.
I was just going to say, no one should take away Gina's right to have a gun or my right to have a gun. What I think Snoop Dogg is talking about is violence in our inner cities. Yeah. And the president has talked about the need to fix our inner cities. And I would imagine that somebody like Snoop Dogg and he could work together on this if they would get past the rhetoric.
And get past that imagery. But
so
Al,
his solution, his solution to that is to have a video of someone shooting our president right now. I mean, you can't tell me that he's somebody who's concerned about violence when that's the kind of video that he wants to produce. I support his right to do it, but it really seems hypocritical.
It's clearly a parody, and at the end of the video, the president is still standing there as a clown, albeit, but he's not dead. And it's clearly a parody meant to focus on violence with police.
Yeah, but stay with me, Al. I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I hear what you're saying. It's about police violence and all of that. But is the answer to have an image of the president being shot in the head? Is that the way to do it?
Look, this is what makes America great, right? It's the First Amendment.
Why does it make America great?
Because he gets to do that and we get to be offended.
I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about the overall protected free speech. We get that. And we're probably all in agreement about that. It's just a choice of imagery, Al, when you have Madonna, at the March on Washington saying, getting cheered when she's saying she wants to blow up the White House.
And actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I think that was far worse, because that was saying what she wished she could do. This was clearly a parody. It's offensive to some, perhaps many, but it's clearly a parody, and there's something different there. Madonna's thing was inexcusable and really troubling, that she thinks she can say that and be applauded for saying that.
Gina, final word. Thank you, Al. Go ahead, Gina.
Yeah, some of us think that what makes America great are things like jobs and freedom. I don't think that people who are supposed to be icons that children look up to presenting this sort of imagery when there are a million positive images that Snoop Dogg could have chosen instead. I don't think that's what makes America great, but I do think it's what loses elections for Democrats. So maybe he'll keep doing it and Trump will have a supermajority in 18. I don't know.
Gina and Al, you're always terrific. Thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Liz.
Well,